Hello my loves, and welcome to another pick a card reading. I hope you're all doing really well. It's really good to have you here, and thank you for joining me for these healing messages from your ancestors. This will also be healing messages that will be used to help heal your ancestral line as well. So let's see what the cards have to say. So you've got 3 piles to choose from as always. Pile 1, you have this beautiful green garnet. Pile 2, you have this stunning pink amethyst. And pile 3, you have this beautiful ocean jasper. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, timestamps will be in the description box below, my friends, and I will see you at your reading. Bye. Pile 1, hello and welcome to your reading. So you chose this gorgeous, sorry my hairband is on my wrist, this gorgeous green garnet. There is something about like abundance, about manifesting abundance with this card, with this stone. Green garnet is a stone I use personally for that, about manifestation of money, manifestation of material wealth, you know, basically a sense of feeling grounded in the respect that you have, that lower sense of your Maslow's hierarchy of needs that has been addressed. So you have all of your material needs taken care of, your food, your shelter, your home. Those things are quite prevalent right now, and your ancestors want you to know that you are being supported in that space. You may not feel like you're being supported, but you are. And just there's something about being able to ground yourself in the present moment to allow yourself to feel the truth of the abundance that is really available to you. So let's have a look at your first card. Be calm and keep going. I don't know if that is coming up on the camera. Yes, it does. Okay. Because that, I've got like quite a yellow light here, so it looks quite orange, but actually it looks perfect on this. So be calm and keep going. That looks so great. You know what else I get from this card? And it's amazing that it's green. Not only is there this sense of like you know, there's wealth, there's abundance, there's this green energy, heart space energy. It's about you being in the moment, which I already highlighted with that stone. But it's also about your vibration. So what you are thinking about is attracting other things, and or attracting the things that you are thinking about. And I'm so guilty of this. Like, my brain goes off into random places where I am not thinking the best thoughts about stuff. And I really have to watch my brain and how my thoughts come in and out of it. Now, there are various different ways that you can do this, and the most effective way that you can do this is by meditation. So by you meditating, by you taking the time to clear your energy and be able to make sure that, you know, you're focusing on good things. And it doesn't mean that you are in a state where you are fooling yourself into, you know, thinking positive thoughts, blah, blah, blah. It's more about you recognizing the good that is happening within your life and focusing on those good things. And when that happens, then you can kind of build upon that in terms of a positive attitude towards your surroundings, so that you can manifest this this kind of abundance, because I feel like for you at the moment you're really wondering whether or not you're actually going to be able to, I don't know, it may be to do with your career, it may be to do with like buying a house, it may be to do with like maybe some inheritance or something like that. Maybe you've reached a point in your life where you don't really know whether or not, like, you know, you're still wondering like where that financial stability is going to come from. So I would say just make sure that you are thinking good thoughts and be calm and keep going. I mean, that's pretty clear. I've just given you my interpretation of that, but I mean, let's just keep it simple by being calm and just keeping going, putting one foot in front of the other. That's really valuable. So with that being said, let's crack on with the tarot. Messages from your ancestors. Messages from your ancestors. Healing messages from your ancestors to help you right now. And also any messages that you want to give to me, Spirit, and dear ancestors, guardians, angels, ancestors, of all of the people that are watching, all benevolent spirits, guardians, angels, and ancestors that are watching, of the people who are watching. Could you please give me some advice, be it of their, you know, whether or not it's to heal their actual ancestral line, or whether or not it's just some advice generally for them. I kind of am connecting this anyway with ancestral stuff, like in terms of like ancestral lineage. So it's not just about, like, it is healing messages from your ancestors, but this isn't just about your day-to-day. This is about you healing patterns that are connected to them as well. So let's have a look. So we've got the Queen of Wands reversed. We've also got the Fool reversed. We've got the Fool upright. Way too many. Okay, that will do. Thank you. Interesting. Okay, so we have... Interesting. Okay, so we have, yes, we have the Nine of Wands. So we have the Queen of Wands reversed. We have the Fool. We have, excuse me, we have, yes, reversed. We have the Nine of Wands. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So it's really interesting, as I was saying that, as I was saying about the whole ancestral kind of lineage thing. There is definitely like some kind of like ancestral contracts that are being released here. I may change the name of the reading, I'm not sure. But to what exactly, I'll have to think about that, because this is about healing messages to heal your ancestral wounding. It's messages from your ancestors to heal ancestral wounding, but that's quite long to put in the title. So I think that there was like a belligerent attitude initially towards you, or towards maybe, I don't know, because, you know, you could either be male or female, it doesn't matter, but there was like some kind of belligerent attitude that was causing you to kind of go a completely different way than what had happened previously. So it's almost like you'd seen that there was hostility in a particular space. So now you'd decided to just kind of go and like completely launch yourself into another space, another time. An example that I could give is if someone found that their home life in one country was not very accommodating to them, beneficial to them, didn't really give them the opportunities that they wanted, then they would just literally just go on a whim, just get a plane ticket and just get out and see what happens, you know. This will work out. It will work out. But just not in the way that you think that it will. Yes is reversed, and I will take that as reversed. So for me, that means that it's delayed. So it is a yes, but not in the way that you think that it's going to. And I do think it might take like several cycles. It might take several moon cycles, which, to be fair, that's a couple of months. So I don't think that that's that long. We do have the Four of Pentacles, so that does say to me that there may be like a 4-year time span that's going on with this, in terms of like, say for example, you're starting up a business or something like that, or you're trying to like get something off of the ground. There could be something about a 4-year plan where you're having to kind of really consolidate yourself in that. Now, usually I would see the Four of Pentacles as like a blocked kind of card. And in a way, I can see that. But then, because this card says about being a prudent mountain goat, I'm seeing this mountain goat stay on this mountain and make sure that they are in this place where they're safe. So it's almost like you're building up some kind of, yeah, you're being quite prudent about what you're building. So you're making sure that I wouldn't be surprised if you've got like 4 things that you are being quite focused on, in order for you to like make sure that you're building something up so that you can like make this happen. Because I think there's comparison that's going on, particularly, and you know, Four of Pentacles is about like definitely like being blocked because you're scared of other things. And I mean, the Nine of Wands is definitely that. It's absolutely about how you choose to. It's being over defensive. It's absolutely like, this is somebody who's fought many battles, and they've decided that they really have to kind of, they're too tired, and they just, you know, they're very fragile and defensive. So what I'm thinking is that like, there's been some kind of like attack in the past from like a female figure. It could even be like a mother figure. I mean, it's definitely some kind of manipulative figure, because I always see the Queen of Wands reversed as the lesser magician reversed. So like a real bitch, basically. So there's been this, and with this mouse just kind of like going off like that, just makes me think that it's just like thinking, fuck it, I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. And it's interesting because like in my culture where I live, where my parents came from, I know a lot of my female cousins that have had to pretty much run away in order to kind of like be able to live the lives that they wanted to. Like they've just had to leave the country. Otherwise, they have ended up having to be pushed into arranged marriages, or having to live lives that they didn't really want to do. Which is crazy in this day and age, but it is happening. So it's that whole thing of where you just kind of like, you know, go with careless abandon, and then you kind of like, right, yeah. And as I said, like there's this thing where you're thinking, is it going to happen or not? Like, am I really going to be able to support myself in that way? And I think, yes, you will do. But I don't know, I just feel like it's a bit of a battle, I'm not going to lie. It's a bit of an intense battle, and it's quite lonely as well. So, just an FYI. But, I mean, just got to keep calm and keep going. I don't think this is a bad thing. This is about where your priorities are in respect to like where your finances are, because this is about stability. I feel like this is to do with money, stability. Even it could even be to do with stability itself. So for example, if you were like coming from another country, you were like trying to establish yourself in the country. Because, you know, my family were amazing, particularly my mum and dad. They were so wonderful at, you know, helping people to come over from like other country, from my home country, from where they were from, and help them to find opportunities for themselves. They were fantastic people, very beautiful. people who tried to give the opportunity, helped out with money, helped out with like course stuff, you know, put up free bed, free lodging. You know, they would do that to help people to come over and like their brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, whatever, relatives, to help them like do stuff. And few of them did that, you know, few of them did that. But what's interesting is that very few of them stayed. I would say about 10% of people like actually stayed. They ended up like getting the qualifications and then going back to Mauritius, which is where I'm from. So I thought that was quite interesting. So, I mean, this is whatever it is. Like, it might be that you have a long-term plan in terms of, like, you know, you might want to go somewhere else. You might want to do something else. But something here is, like, indicating some kind of stillness. Like, you won't be moving for about 4 years, it looks like. So, yeah. Anyway, let's clarify. Queen of Wands. And the thing is, right, with the Queen of Wands, I feel like it's kind of... You know, this could be attitudes from your ancestors that they were like that towards like people that were trying to do that very thing. Because, you know, I always thought about myself. I thought about people who are leaving their country or leaving the place or doing something different, and it takes guts to do that. It takes real gumption to do that, real tenacity to do that, and it's not for everyone. Not everyone can do that. Some people do, some people don't. Okay, so we've got the Page of Wands reversed. We have Judgment. We have the Queen of Wands upright. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Wow, is that the Seven? Yeah, the Seven of Wands. That's crazy. It looks like a dodo, but I don't think it's a vulture and a coyote. Okay, so it's, yeah, the 7 clarifying the 9. That's intense. Okay. And one more. The 4 of Pentacles. So there is a lot of wand energy here. A lot of strong wand energy, and what I'm feeling from that is you know, you just feel like you've got to get the F out of it. You've just got to get out. Just got to get out. You're not going to like mess around. You have to do what you need to do. It's not about... It's fire energy, you know. Okay, these cards don't really pop out, so I'm going to take this one right here. The 3 of Cups reversed. Yeah, I said it would be lonely. Oh, sorry, Paul. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's sad because, yeah, it is lonely. It is lonely at the top. But Page of Wands reversed, Queen of Wands upright, like Queen of Wands reversed, it's very much about, like, people putting on their own sense of bitterness onto a situation. So, and the first thing that kind of came to me was that analogy of the crabs. You know, I don't know if you know about it. So basically, there's a bucket full of crabs, and if one of the crabs tries to climb out, then the other crabs will pull it down. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard it a lot. It's been playing in my mind. And whether or not it's true or not, that's the image that I'm getting. So what I kind of get from that is that, you know, people don't favor others who kind of break out. You know, they prefer people to stay within the tribe, and they prefer people to stay within the, like, kind of constraints and circles that they've always been. And that keeps you safe. That keeps you, you know, doing what you're doing. You know, it keeps you under control. So that's what's happening. There's this kind of consensus of control that's like implemented by an idea of something. It's a bit fear-based, to be honest with you. And also there's like a real kind of dampening down of ideas. So if there's been any ideas, like if you've been like, oh, I really want to do this, and then whoever this Queen of Wands has said, nah, I don't think that that's a really good idea, it would be like a consistent kind of like negating of any kind of inspiration. Then you've got Judgment, which is clarifying the Fool. Now that completely, you know, matches with what I said with, you know, you're just getting the fuck out of there. You're like, okay, I need to kind of exit this situation and need to get out of it. And then you've got the Queen of Wands with the yes. You know that you will manifest that for yourself. You know you will manifest that for yourself. You will do what you need to do and you will manifest it for yourself. You don't care because you're like, you know that you can make it happen for yourself, and you'll do that. You will do that. You know you will. And you know how cycles work. You know how things go in this kind of environment, whatever you're doing. You know that these things take time. They take certain cycles. And you know that usually when you want something, you get it. So, yeah. And then you've also got the 7 of Wands with the 9 of Wands. Now, the 7 of Wands is about overcoming your ghosts. It's about, facing the ghosts of the past. Here we have, like, on this card, we have the coyote on the top here, and then I think that's a coyote, and then we have the vulture. Now, the vulture is the scavenger, and I think coyotes are also scavengers as well. So it's almost like there's this battle for what's dead, 7 of Wands, 7 of Wands. So it's almost like your shadows, your ghosts are fighting themselves. And then you've also got here with the darkness before dawn with the 9 of Wands. It's almost like you have to just keep calm and keep going. You really do. Because things are going to consistently trigger you. I think you are in a situation where things are going to trigger you. And that's why it feels so lonely. I mean, I don't know if it's like lonely or... No, I think it is lonely. It's not 3 of Pentacles, it's 3 of Cups. So I think that you are going to lose friends. You might lose people, You might lose people, lose friends. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't think this is a bad thing, because you're actually getting rid of the people that don't really kind of resonate with you. And I'll be honest with you, they probably don't want you to succeed either. It's really interesting how, you think that friends will support you and be there for you. But they just aren't. I've learned this the hard way. Like, it's mad. You think, you really want to believe that people want the best for you. But when you see people's true nature, or when you start to, I think this is more like, when you start to become successful, you'll see who your real friends are. I mean, take this with a pinch of salt, but I wouldn't be surprised if your whole friendship group changes as a result of this. And I don't know, for some of you, you could be along the timeline. I think you're either at the beginning or you're either at the end. It's one of the two. I don't think it's like in the middle. I think it's either you're starting this cycle or you're at the end of it. If you're at the end of it, what your ancestors are saying to you is that the right friends will come. This has been like your chance to be able to heal the past for us, in a very beautiful way. And thank you for taking your time to do that in the way that you have done. You've answered the call, and you're fixing our mistakes. That's what it's saying to me. There comes a great kind of responsibility when you are something like a cycle breaker. And that is someone who breaks generational curses, generational trauma. It's something that's very difficult. And it's something that we have to surrender to. Sometimes we might not want to do that. Sometimes that might not be really where we want to be. But to break out of the molds, to break out of the things that have defined generations before us, we need to do something different. And I think if we try and do something else, then That's when it starts to become difficult. But when we surrender truly to the power of it, then it works, and we find ourselves actually flowing within some sense of harmony. So that's what I'm feeling here. I'm feeling like it's important for you to recognize that, number one, this is not all your burden. Just because, like, you know, you're trying to do these things, maybe things aren't happening. That's down to other things, like maybe programming, ancestral programming, generational trauma, whatever it is. Because we're talking about ancestral lineage healing, it is, I would say that this is a generational trauma thing, even though we haven't received things that tell me that specifically in the cards. But because of the context, I'm feeling that. And with this card here, particularly with the Fool and Judgment, that says to me that you're taking a leap of faith, that you're actually like making sure that you are being ready to jump forward into that space, even though it may be really tough. Wow, this one was reversed. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things, and it is reversed now. Okay, there's two ways that I can see that as. One, that you need to be more loving. More loving towards yourself and towards others. And the other one is that you need to not be so loving. So you need to actually like make sure that you're only showing love to the people who actually are showing the love to you, who actually are deserving of the love, not people who are not deserving of the love. So take that as you will. I think it definitely has something to do with this. You know, you have to like put your love in the right places in order for it to like be appreciated, bloom faster, however you want to say. I thought that'd be off camera. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at some more cards. Pile 1. Advice from their ancestral line in healing their lineage. And any advice from the ancestors. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to take the top one. Just the top one. B, it says here, working with others, communication, sweetness and hard work. B. It's quite cute and creepy, isn't it, this oracle? I love it. God, I worked so hard to try and get that oracle because she had it on Kickstarter, and then like, God, she didn't put it up for ages, and I was like, are you going to put this deck up? It's so good. Such a good little deck. So yeah, I think with the B, you have to be quite sweet. But not just that, like working with others, it's about the worker bee. So recognizing that even though you may be someone who is breaking the curse, breaking the ancestral trauma, being the curse breaker, there is part of you working as a whole. So you have to be like part of the hive, if that makes sense. It's not just about, like, your actions do reverberate, like they do, because they're the end thing that you're doing, but it's because you're working in conjunction with others. And I think just remembering that, if you do have an opportunity to talk with others about, like, that are within your family, to talk to them about what's going on, do that. I do understand that might not be possible, but it would be nice if you could. I am presence, cosmos, celestite, Wow. And 15. Here's some celestite for you. Oh, it blessed you with a little piece. Don't even know. Oh, there it is. Wow. I think, is that it? No, I don't know where it's gone. But yeah, I'm presence. Beautiful. Number 15. 15 is temperance. No, 15 is the devil. 15 is the devil, and 1 + 6 is the lovers. So choosing yourself is what I'm feeling here. You need to choose yourself. Make sure you choose yourself, and remember that you are greater than yourself. You're greater than just you. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to do this last card, which is the White Light Oracle. These cards usually come with quite a big affirmation at the end, so I will shuffle and pick one and see, and then read out the affirmation for you, my darlings. Okay, so we've got the Sovereign Queen Maeve. Beautiful. Okay, so that's number 40. We've got 15 equating to 6. We've also got 10 as well. So in my opinion, I think you're overcoming some generational stuff anyway. And I think it's connected to abundance. I feel like you're about to like step into your power, or you're either at the end of like where you have been trying to establish your power, and now you're kind of in a space where you realize that like, actually, I'm not going to have many friends here. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to like stabilize my security in this lifetime. So I think you've got it down. You just need to remember these like aspects. Your ancestors are telling you to be connected to the present moment, to surrender, to remember that you must love the right things, and to work as part of a whole. So that's pretty concise. Okay, so number 40 is this Sovereign Queen Maeve, I think you say her name. Value what is sacred to you by protecting it from interference, which is what I kind of got from that love card. Even that which it may be well-intentioned. That's what I was saying. Be compassionate but set firm boundaries. You are going to triumph over a negative situation. It will take courage, but you will have more than enough inner strength, resourcefulness and boldness to accomplish what you wish to attain. Do not give up. That's what that was saying here. Just read it again for you. Be calm and keep going. It may take courage, but you will have more than enough inner strength, resourcefulness and boldness to accomplish what you wish to attain. Do not give up. You have the ability to connect to the higher world, so open your heart and mind to the light. At the portal between everyday reality and the rapture of unchecked aliveness stands Sovereign Queen Maeve. She is an initiatrix. Initiatrix. I don't really like those words. Creatrix, initiatrix. Can I just say initiator? Taking us beyond the constraints of polite moralism and into the bliss, sacred passion and grit and astuteness needed to cultivate and protect the light. Goddess, warrior, queen of the Fae, and fearless guardian and protector of territory, Maeve is wild and determined. She stimulates confidence and encouraging one not to shy away, but to rather assertively engage with life and claim your true place in the world. Oh, this is amazing. She encourages us to refuse to allow our sacred territory to be intruded by unworthy rulers, whether they be critical voices in our own mind or ego-driven interlopers. Maeve is the instinct to engage when challenged and to call on recruits to use all of that inner wisdom and talent at your disposal so that you can assert light and refuse to be put down or denied your rightful place. Protecting your territory is a spiritual perspective. From a spiritual perspective, is unlike grasping and self-serving of the ego that wishes to obtain whatever it can for its own benefit. This world needs souls who are willing to be able to hold sacred space and refuse it to allow it to become contaminated by greed, jealousy, hate, or confusion. This is an act of courage and selflessness. Such an act of courage serves all beings. Okay? So, that's the gist. I'm not going to go into it anymore because that pretty much says it. But part 3, part 1. Part 1. I hope you enjoyed that reading. That was a pretty straight talking reading from your ancestors about healing your ancestral line and also helping you with something, messages from your ancestors. I will consider the title of the video. I'll think about it. But yeah, I'm trying to go with the flow with this because, you know, I don't know. I set out to do like a particular title, but then something else starts to emerge. So, and I today I was working with the ancestors. I was asking for help with with like healing ancestral lines today. So I feel like that's very in sync with like what this reading is about. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really hope it helps. Let me know in the comments like what you think. Do remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please do like the video, and remember, my friends, if you want a personal reading, you can get in touch via my email address. But otherwise, have a wonderful morning, evening, night or day whenever you're choosing to watch this. And remember, my darlings, that honesty is always key. Bye. Hello, my Pearl 2s. How are you? You chose this gorgeous amethyst. There's a real sense of love that comes from this. Love, like higher sense love. Your higher selves are communicating with your ancestors to be able to give you a message of love. What the actual thing of pink amethyst, I don't know what that is exactly. I mean, I am getting a loving vibe, like a higher sense of spiritual love that's coming from your ancestors. But I do want to just quickly double check, like, what exactly pink amethyst is. Like, what's the... pink amethyst, no, not agate, pink amethyst, and what kind of like properties it has. So right now, yeah, I mean, it's like heart chakra, yeah, so self-esteem, love and empowerment. So what I think what this is trying to give you is real belief in yourself. Part 2, like allow yourself to have that belief in yourself. I don't know if you have that kind of belief for other people, or you're able to be able to, you know, kind of big up other people, but you need to express that to yourself because it's important. Wow, to overcome, you first have to climb. And we have 37 equates to 10. Okay, to overcome, you first have to climb. Interesting. Let me pull some tarot. To overcome, you first have to climb. So, if we're going to think about that in a symbolic context, I would say that anything that you would have to get over, you would have to put in effort to do so. It's not going to be something that you just passively accept. You have to make some effort to be able to overcome this obstacle. Does that make sense? And you're being guided by your ancestors. As you can see in this gorgeous card, you can see like everything is guiding you towards the light, like guiding you towards there. But it requires effort on your part. You need effort. Okay, I had these 5, I think. Yeah, there's 5 there. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords reversed. We have the Sacred Fire reversed, and it says rebirthing bonfire. Interesting. And then we also have the 8 of Cups. We have the 10 of Cups reversed, and then we have the Ace of Wands. Wow. Pile 2. This is very interesting. Okay, messages from your ancestors, healing messages from your ancestors for your own personal self, and also for ancestral wounding and ancestral healing. So for me, the Sacred Fire is about like birthing, it's about like destroying certain things, getting rid of things to be able to like make way for the new. In a way, it feels a bit like death, but it's not quite, because this is actually more proactive than death, because it tells you what you have to do. You have to burn it out. You have to burn out whatever it is that you've got. So you've got to overcome some kind of situation in order to move forward, so that you can be more compassionate and loving towards yourself and gain more senses of a better sense of self-esteem within yourself. This is what it feels like. It feels like you don't have faith in yourself, pile 2. And I think you hold back. And it's really interesting, because like every time I see this thing here, God, that's such a mad card. Jesus Christ. That's such a crazy card. Can you see that? Look at all those meerkats all around him. Now, I think they eat snakes, but also, I don't know. It's just mad. It's such a mad card. Yeah, this is so King of Swords. So what this kind of like looks to me like, anyway, this looks to me like a pair of scissors. And it's upright. So there's something about like not, I don't know, you wouldn't cut upwards, you cut downwards, don't you? So like I'm thinking that there's something that's not, like you're not, you may look like you're in a position to do some cutting, but you're actually not going to be able to do any cutting at this particular moment. Maybe also you thought that, I don't know, maybe whatever you thought that you did, like to cut off some ties or whatever. Because cord cutting and kind of disconnecting from old ancestral wounding is not as simple as people think it is. It involves like layers and layers of being able to like understand how it works with each of those layers. The programming can stop. Yes, it can. Of course it can. But it does require like full level commitment. And if everything is not burnt out, it's similar to like, it will continue to come back. If the root is not burnt out completely, then it will continue to burn out. Not burn out, it will continue to grow back. So what's happening here is there's something about this that hasn't been burnt away completely. There's some kind of old belief. And I don't know, I feel like you want to speak out about it. And I don't know, maybe in the past you've ended up speaking out about it. And then when you have done, it's actually made you feel empowered. But then at the end, like at the time, it's made you feel really empowered. But then afterwards, it's not been that way. And it's because there's some still leftover stuff that's going on here. Now, I will say that I love this Eight of Cups. This Eight of Cups is so cool. I was thinking to myself earlier, I think this is one of my favourite decks, this El Goliath deck. You're actually, you're walking on, oh God, look at that. I just realised that, bloody hell. So you've got like this, this kind of like walking towards divinity here, pile 2. You really, you always have a choice, right? But this is pretty clear what you have to do. You have to walk the path. You have to go forward. Because you haven't been happy. You haven't been happy, and you need to be very, you need to be honest with yourself about what really kind of makes you happy. But, just a real honest answer. A real honest, just being super honest with yourself. Because I think, I don't know, like some of you might have wanted to love, and you're trying to like get back on the love thing, but like maybe you're going out like before you're really ready. I see that there is like a spark, like you want to go out there and you want to do these things, and you want to get back in touch with a compassionate version of yourself. You want all of this, and that's good. It is good, but it is the Ace, okay? And we have like Knight We have 8 and a 10 and a 10, you know. We do have another 10 here. This doesn't have a number, but it's almost like the action that needs to take place in order for this to grow really healthily, you know. For it to kind of like spring up in a way that's really promoting the best form of growth of all this love. Like, you want it to be, I don't know, I'm getting like a sense of purity from this reading. So you want the level of how you show up in a compassionate way towards yourself. You want that to be in a really genuine, authentic way. And your ancestors want you to do that too. Because I think that's what's happened, you know. Like previously, there's been that kind of bypassing where you think that you've done something and then actually you haven't. Now, everything happens in its own time for its own reason, but like this is your opportunity to be able to like do this in a really clean and succinct way. So yeah, this is a really good opportunity. It was like that, man. Shit. I can't do that. I don't have the authority. I just heard Spirit was like, no, it wasn't that way. Okay, good. I'm glad that came up that way. Okay. You've got... okay, right. Let me just take this in, because when the moon comes up reversed as the last card, it's always just like, oh God. Anyway, old patterning will come up to test you like a spicy MFer, man. Like it will come up to test you. Because I don't know, when you're moving out of a pattern of stuff, like all the old shit comes up to kind of trigger you, to make you, to really test you to see whether or not you actually are changing. Wow, what's that? That's the 6 of Swords. Yes. Okay, right, wow. That's very good. Very good. You're going to be in a bit of a back and forth place with this, and your ancestors are supporting you, okay? But there is emotional patterning that you need to get over. I don't know what the fuck it is, man. Like, it just seems like it's some kind of... And I don't know. It's not... what is it? Knight of Swords. Reverse. Let's have a look. Keep on going. The Star. Nice. Sometimes you have to put out the fire to see the stars, right? Ah, okay. Thank you. I was like, what the fuck is this about? Okay, so this is to do with some kind of father wound. I did mention it was about, like, it felt like it was to do with some kind of relationships. So I don't know, however the father manifests in your life, but you don't have to be male or female. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It just matters about the quality of your relationships with your partner or with your parent. Like, the quality of your relationship with your caregivers is directly influential on your current relationships with everyone around you, all of your relationships, all of your interpersonal relationships. So with the Emperor, it's about how you really kind of put things forward, how you are a father in your life. You're understanding that things haven't burnt out completely, but you do have hope. You do have hope about things. And there is like this sense of like, oh, that's so fucking interesting. So you've got like here 3 swords that are pointing upwards, which almost like signifies to me the pain of like being set free. Because here we've got this kind of chrysalis that's emerging into the butterfly. And then you've got these 2 pathway cards, this 8 of Cups, which is like letting things go and being able to move on emotionally in a way that's really healthy. But what's interesting is that the 3 swords that are down, which usually when 3 swords down, they're in the heart. So it's almost like they're staying there and they're causing the pain. And it's almost like that initial stage of when the chrysalis is starting to emerge and pushing out of the chrysalis. And then it isn't until like the actual like wings start to like come out and you start to fly that the swords fall out. I think that's wonderful. And then we've got all of these beautiful cups that are just on the floor, where it's like, I'm just discarding all of this. It really does feel like a death and a rebirth, even though the death card hasn't come here. It feels like it, absolutely. And I mean, you know, I think you're really learning from this opportunity in a way that like your ancestors can only dream of. They are cheering you on so hard, pile 2. I can feel them. I can feel the welling of pure pride of all of them in everything that you're doing right now to invoke love into your life in a way that they were never able to do. I think someone tried to place some kind of evil eye, curse, whatever. They tried to like wish ill for you. But not for you personally. I think generationally they did that. I do think they did that. I do think that there was some kind of thing that was placed on top. So you weren't just dealing with just like patterning and behavior. This is to do with like intentional damage that's done. And it will be things that I don't think that you really know about. There could have been some abusive situations. There could have been like just some stuff that went on to really kind of like trigger off some kind of bad. I don't get a good feeling from that card. So like I think that, you know, whatever you're doing here and instigating this gorgeous love, and what's so nice is that this strength is so loving. Like look at it, it's so cute, so cute. So, you know, it's just a really beautiful, loving card. And then you've got this moon card reverse, which kind of says to me that it's almost like you know, it really is like love conquers all. Like making sure that love is the one thing that's the constant here, and it doesn't matter really about anything else. Powerful, powerful reading, part 2. I love it. It's really like, this is truly the power of love and about what it can do for you when you really like trust it. Look at that, Mars. Love that. Love that. You're just going for it. You're going for it. You're loving yourself fiercely in a way that you weren't able to. That's amazing. I love that. It's almost like you're this love warrior. I know that sounds so wanky, but like, it's like you're really embracing that sense of love for yourself in a way that none of your other generations ever dreamt of. And they're loving you for it, because it's really showing a sense of true strength. Beautiful reading. Stunning. Stunning. Okay, that was reversed, but I'm going to take it like this. Friendship, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Love that. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. I'm going to read it upside down though, but I do like it upright. Sometimes we can put too much pressure on what we expect friendships to be. There's that whole thing of like friends for a season, friends for a reason, friends for a lifetime. And I think when we grasp that concept, we kind of like, we really place less pressure on ourselves and the interpersonal relationships that we have with each other. It's not your fault if like, you know, you don't end up like being friends with someone forever. You know, it's not because, you know, you're not worthy or whatever. It's just happens to be the fact that it just didn't work out in that way. And I think when we really recognize that about ourselves, it helps us to feel better about the relationships that we do have. I mean, I totally have been questioning myself in terms of my relationships, but then sometimes, you know, you've just got to just make sure that you love you, and that's all it is. Okay. Wow, look at that. Escape limitations that you have for yourself and escape. Love that. I do also think that, like, if you are having those kind of expectations about your friendships, and I mean, this is about friendship, so I mean, it's about, yeah, it's about how you view your friends. If they are giving you like limitations, if there are limitations around those things, then just be mindful about how that, you know, influences you on a day-to-day level, and how it stops you from being who you're supposed to be. Are you around people that encourage you to be everything that you are supposed to be? Is that the truth? Is that what you're doing? So we've got 2 cards here. We've got Rebirth, Spring, Shiva Lingam, and number 21. 21 is the world. It is also the Empress. And then we've got Soul Awakening, Amethyst, Celestial, and the Medicine Pouch, and 28. So this is the Ace of Wands. So we definitely have that rebirth, and I was also saying here as well, there's that kind of like rebirth energy as well, which is needing to kind of come forward. And then you've also got this soul awakening as well, which is this medicine pouch. So it's about you keeping what's important to you close to you, so that you kind of like know what you have. When we're mindful of that, then we can, you know, we can really like recognize the resources that we have within our lives to help us to continue in what we're doing. Okay, so with that being said, I am going to pull one last card, and I'm going to read it from the book because they're quite epic. So let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, I'll take this one. Yeah, I want to take this one. Yeah. Solve Polluti 741 Hertz. Wow. So cool, these cards. Right, okay. Let me get the book. Right, okay, so Solve Polluti. Interesting. So tune into your heart and you'll be able to find a way through any negative or toxic situation. Engage in self-healing and space clearing. Commit to regular practices that help you connect to your inner light. Your light shall shine. Your light shall not be overcome by any darkness or negativity. Take time to clean your heart and mind of negativity by focusing on the divine beings that bring joy to your heart. It is appropriate for you to desire your own personal and sacred space and access it daily. Okay, so what I'm getting from this really strongly is that you have to go to a space where you can recuperate your power. There's a bit of soul loss here, because with going towards the corridor and going towards that, there's something that is being hung on to in the past, and you have to burn it all out. That's what I was saying about that sacred fire. It has to all go. It has to be gone. But it has to be all burnt out. It's not as simple as just things dying and you walking away. It has to be all destroyed. I know that sounds really dramatic, but it really has to be. Like, it has to be cleared out properly. You know, like how there's some things that you can only burn, you know? That's what needs to happen. However you do it, figuratively, physically, however. But there needs to be some kind of action where you are destroying it. I think it just needs to be gone. What does it say? Anything that... Well, solve polluti is a Latin expression which means to clear pollutants and toxins. So, yeah, clear yourself and clear your space. So, yeah, that's what I was saying. So, no different. But, so your ancestors are telling you to give yourself a good deep clean. Have a practice in place where you are consistently cleaning. And you are making sure that you're taking care of yourself. And that you are only having the valuable people that deserve to be around you. They're the ones who are there, not the ones who keep you caged in, but the ones who let you fly, and make you fly, make you soar. You know, that's the most important thing. Make you feel like the god Mars, you know? And this soul awakening and rebirth kind of vibe. Yeah, Your ancestors are helping you. They're helping you. So clean it. It will also help get rid of that as well. That moon reversed. Any kind of like negative energy that might be around. Part 2, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. Share it with anybody if you did like it. And if you want to get in touch with me for a personal reading, my details are in the description box below. Just ping me over an email and we can sort something out. But otherwise, my darlings, have a wonderful morning, evening, night, or day, whenever you're choosing to watch this. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Pile 3, hello and welcome to your reading. So you chose this beautiful ocean jasper, which I get such a calming like energy from this stone. It's very stabilizing, very like it reminds me of the bottom of the ocean and how everything is kind of like quiet there. You know, just being there and being on the sand and just being quite peaceful. And this stone is to do with emotional stability. So I think your ancestors are trying to send you quite a powerful message to ensure that you are, you know, you feel that you are being supported at this time. More so than the others. Like I feel like there's a real sense of tranquility and peace that is being sent with you. You also got 2 cards. You didn't just get 1. So let's have a look at what they say. First one is, if the world around you seems turbulent, stop. Happiness is freedom from fear. Okay. So what I'm getting here, pile 3, is that there is quite a lot of generational kind of stuff that's going on here. There's a lot of ties, a lot of bits and pieces that are kind of, you know, influencing you in your day-to-day life. And I don't know if you have like any kind of practice where you are just being with yourself and you are just taking the time to be slow. And it's really interesting because the pace of your reading, pile 3, is very different from the other 2 readings. So it just feels very peaceful, and you know, I just got into a space of comfort to kind of like do your reading. Yeah, I just made sure I was comfortable. You've also got 24, which equates to 6, and then you've got 40, which also equates to the Emperor. So there's something about you really establishing some powerful stability here in your emotional state. Because like with pile 1, I was talking about like how you established the lower pyramid, the lower kind of rungs of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is basically a pyramid which you can like just Google it, and it basically has like your, and I should have really explained this in pile 1's one, but essentially like you can see like what the bottom part, like most people are living in that place where they're trying to just meet their physical and material needs. And even I think with you, this is about nourishment at the higher spots. So let's have a look what your tarot cards want to say. And there's one that's turned the other way, so let's just have a look. Okay, that's the 10 of Cups. So let's just have a look at what the cards want to say now. Happiness is freedom from fear. Sorry. Wow. Okay. That's something I had to get out then. I do suffer from hay fever, but it's the middle of the night, so, or quite late at night, so I don't know why like there would be hay fever happening. But I definitely have like some irritation that's come up just now, and I don't know why. I didn't have that before when I was doing the other readings. Okay, could you please give me some information about pile 3s? Like, dear ancestors. Excuse me. Sorry about that pile. Pile 3. Something was very tickly in my throat, and yeah. Okay, I'm going to say, no, that's 6. I'm taking the advice of this card here. If the world around you seems turbulent, stop. That's what was happening. Like, I was finding it quite difficult to breathe. So that's really interesting. And happiness is freedom from fear. You know, when you're feeling free, truly free, you're not feeling fearful at all. So also, like, when you're feeling fearful, there's that kind of sense of constraint. There's also like this inhibition. So there's a real need for you to try and find some sense of peace, pile 3. Let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, the world. That's really interesting. We have the hidden inner strength, the shadow cat. So I'll just show you the world. The hidden inner strength. The shadow self. The dark inner swamp, it says. The purity, the sage, and it's reversed. And then we have the Ace of Cups. And it's reversed. That looks quite sinister, doesn't it, with those claws, those hands? Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, so this is shadow work calling to you, pile 3. This is about you're needing to, you're actually stronger than you think. But you need to go in and do some shadow work, because there is some shadows that need to be healed, and they're not properly cleansed. Like, it's not properly kind of removed in a way. And that's what's kind of stopping you from being able to embark on some kind of emotional fulfillment. I don't think it's necessarily to do with relationships. It's to do with, like, you finding joy in the things that you're doing. And, you know, these kind of things can, like, really, they can manifest as certain things. They can manifest as certain, they can manifest as certain things. If you are finding it difficult to connect with anything, or difficult to find joy in anything, or difficult to find joy in very small things, that can be an indicator that you might have something that is not really belonging to you, that is draining your energy and is causing you just not to be able to really engage fully with life. And that's what's happening here. What I do get is that there has been some kind of event that's kind of triggered this off. So it seems that, you know, you've had this event, and you may have felt very happy at this event. It may have been really good. It may have been something where you felt really strong. But I don't know, it feels like a bit of a come down after that. And you need to, there's something about you needing to cleanse your space, cleanse where you are, cleanse what you're doing. Cleanse it, cleanse. Let's get some more clarification about this. It could also be that you are doing a lot of things. Like, you could be doing a lot of spiritual work. You could be doing a lot of things. And maybe it's just throwing up a lot of dust into the air. And you don't know where you're going. You don't know how you're feeling. You don't know what exactly is going on. So we've got the Emperor reversed. Okay, interesting. We've got the Two of... Interesting, we've got these two cats here with the Two of Wands. And then we've also got this cat here. Wow. So cat could be a potent animal for you. Pile 3. We have the 5 of Cups upright. I think we've got 2 cards here. And we've got 3. I'll take them. So we've got the 4 of Pentacles here. Okay, that makes sense. That's really interesting. The 4 of Pentacles is depicted by a goat in both of these decks. That's really interesting. And then we've got the Chariot reversed, and then we've got the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Wow, okay. So yeah, I definitely feel like this is directly related to maybe abundance, a sense of feeling at home, a sense of feeling like you actually belong to anyone or to someone. This could be to do with like a family situation. It may be, I do think it's to do with generational kind of like trauma. It's almost like you're having to be breadcrumbed a bit, in a way, in terms of an emotional context. You may be working a lot, like to kind of get over, you know, certain things that you're doing, to get over emotional kind of like lack. There definitely feels like, you know, you may have come to a realization that, you know, you didn't receive love from the male caregiver. Or there's some kind of stuff going on with the paternal line that's happening. You may not be fully aware of it, but it's happening. And then you've also got like the hidden inner strength and the shadow cat, and then you've got the 2 of Wands. Now the 2 of Wands to me is, you know, you understand what your kingdom is. You understand who you are. And I think that with this, you're kind of recognizing that you can really take care of yourself in a way that no one else could. You've managed to build up like some kind of stable environment for you to like, so it could even be the fact that you know you've managed to buy yourself a house, and you feel confident in that because you've managed to get that kind of sense of stability. But yeah, there is emotional work to be done because you've got this here with the shadow self. It's upright, so that gives me hope. That makes me think that, you know, you do understand that this is shadow work, and it is what it is. It isn't easy, you know, you have to kind of go through it, but I think you kind of attack it head on. You know, we've got this hammerhead shark here. So, is it her? Yeah, the hammerhead shark's been like hurt. It's actually, oh wow, that's really harsh. Okay, so this harpoon has struck the shark, and it's like kind of, it's bleeding into the water. Oh my god, that's pretty intense, man. And then obviously that's going to attract other sharks because blood attracts sharks. So this shark's like thinking, shit. That's pretty harsh, man. It's very unfortunate. That's what I'm thinking. So it's an unfortunate state of events, and I think sometimes when we think back to our past, you know, we tend to demonize, and I don't think that that's a useful exercise. Like, yes, people, parents, things, they did what they did, but they did what they thought was best at the time for us, even though it may be so warped and so crazy that it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no way that anybody on God's good earth could anybody think that that was an actual good thing to do. But this is it. Like, it's completely like, there's no kind of thought, there's no consideration, and the consequences have just kind of like led into something horrific. So there's something about that, you know, kind of confronting that, and that what happened was so bad or so shit or so dark or whatever it was, just to the level that it affected you, because like this is extreme disappointment on an emotional level. What I am getting though, and what's interesting, is that 3 of the cups are still upright, not 2. 2 are down. So I don't know, some of you might salvage friends. You may have some good friendship groups that really help you and support you and support what you're doing, or maybe they'll just be around to like help you heal after you've done the work. But yeah, this is a pretty dark situation. It's a pretty hard situation. You may have been avoiding it, but your ancestors are on your side to be able to help you. Really interesting how we've got like so many sea references. And then I was talking about that kind of like thing with the ocean jasper, you know, you being at the bottom of the ocean. And then here we have the purity, and then it's clarified by the Fool. Okay, whatever you've been doing, it doesn't work. So you're going to have to change it up. There's a stagnation of energy here that needs to be removed, and you need to remove it so that you can kind of like let the energy of the ancestors come in and help you and do what they're supposed to do. Otherwise, you know, you're just stuck there. So you need to do that. You really do, whatever it is. I would even say, go as far as to say that it could be that you need to exercise. You need to move. But there's something about like, I think it's almost like there may be like 4 years of work that you need to undo. I'm not sure. Anyway, you've also got the Ace of Cups now. It's clarified with the Chariot reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. This could be to do with an unsupportive mother. It could be to do with an unsupportive female figure within your life, where basically you've just felt completely out of balance. You felt consistently out of balance. Like there just hasn't been a point where you've actually felt like that you've been together, or you feel okay about things. Or things have gone very slowly in a way that you don't really know. So your ancestors are with you, right? They're with you to heal this thing. Let's have a look. Some more cards for you. Pile 3. Virgo. Okay, so Virgo. Discriminatory action and also acts of service. Noticing your daily routines, looking at the things that you do on a daily basis that contribute to your personality and you as a whole. God, all of these readings have got so much gold in them. I'm like, they're really, oh my God, look at the card that pops out as well. Discipline, love it. Discipline. That is the cornerstone of the Virgo mind. Discipline. Oh, sorry. Discipline. Needing to be disciplined. I can accomplish my mind. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Pile 3. And I don't know why I feel like I'm preaching to the converted, but I don't know, maybe you're acting from, I don't know, maybe you've been acting from a fear mindset and that's helped you to kind of like do things. You know, you don't like things being left, or, you know. Let's have a look. What does this say? Circumstances have changed. Make changes to meet the new normal. Pivot. Pivot. Interesting how we haven't got the Hanged Man here, but there is this energy of you being able to see things from a different perspective, but you having to have the discipline to be able to do that. You know? I don't think that you could get that from, you know, what, you know, you'd need that with this kind of like pose in yoga. You need discipline to get to that space. So just make sure you listen to your guides and make sure that you're in connection with your ancestors. Like, listen to what they have to say, meditate and listen to what they have to say. Take some time to instigate some really wonderful things of self-care and preservation and consistent kind of action. Be that like you having a bedtime routine, like a morning routine. This is something to do with a routine that you instigate, something that gives you like this kind of, it kind of gives you this buffer zone of what's the word I'm trying to say? Resilience, that's it. It's like a buffer zone of resilience. So the more kind of like in tune you are with the routines that you do on a daily basis that are, you know, really good, helping you to feel good, helping you to feel better. Say you're doing exercises every day that make you feel good, but then you also see like gradual processes happening and you getting more flexible, for example, or doing something that helps you to get into your body, that helps you to move better, that helps you to feel better, then that's going to bleed and, you know, feed into everything else that you do. So make sure that you're ready to change. Okay, challenge. And it is going to be challenging. Fulgurite, and lightning. That's very tower energy. But what I do also get from that is maybe there's been some kind of shock that has happened. Maybe there's been something that's happened that's caused you to like think, right, okay, I need to change this. I need to change this up. Take it on. You know, your ancestors are there to support you. Your ancestors are there to kind of help you through this time. So be mindful about that. And not only that, they'll be there, you know, talk to them, speak to them, think about them, think about the people that, you know, you're looking at this reading for. I don't think that you would not know who they are, and you wouldn't have an idea of who they were if you are watching this reading. Anyway, my loves, I'm going to close out the reading now with one last card, and then I'm going to read out the card because it's got like a big blurb in it in the book, but it's usually lovely. Wow, beautiful. I think that says Shekinah. Wow, beautiful. Okay, let's have a look. What number is that? Number 6, which is the Lovers. Number 6, this is also number 5 as well, so the Hierophant. Okay, number 6. So, the spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. It is safe for you to rely on Spirit as a loving, protective, and helpful, and a practical presence to be able to positively affect all areas of your life, including facilitating the resolution of physical problems. Do not limit your spirituality to concepts. Instead, apply your wisdom and live your path. Acknowledge your value as a person, as a soul. Treasure the gift of your path and let your spirituality integrate with all facets of your life. And the way you do that is by instigating small routines that nourish you. So Shekinah is a Hebrew word that translates as the dwelling place of the divine. Shekinah is the embodiment of the light. She is in us when we are living our spiritual path, applying our wisdom and principles, so our actions, our courage, our choices awaken the compassion in our world. We are sacred change makers and healers of the collective. The divine electricity of the spirit needs willing soul bulbs to shine forth in the world. So the sacred feminine, the ego has given away to some degree. We are being our true selves. It's a holy dwelling place of spirit. So, and here it says, look, where did I see it? We accomplish our aspirations because we are no longer in our heads but practicing our spiritual path daily. Virgo. Our practice resonates with our hearts, increasing our awareness, love, presence, and patience, commitment, and peace. So, path 3, I think that's pretty clear. Your ancestors are telling you to just do it daily. Just get on and do it daily. I hope you enjoyed that reading. All 3 of these readings were amazing. They had so much rich knowledge, and I feel so privileged to be able to transmit these messages to you from your ancestors. Stunning, and nothing gives me more joy actually than healing generational trauma and healing those ancestral lines. I do absolutely love it. But I hope you did too. If you did like it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, have a wonderful morning, evening, night or day, whenever you're choosing to watch this. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye.